Hello, Captains. Hopefully you're hearing this. We are coming to you live, at least through Facebook at this moment, or not sure about the other restream properties. Hopefully folks on YouTube and Twitch are able to pick this up. If you're seeing this on Facebook and you have friends who might be watching on Twitch, pass along a note, if you would, that they can catch us over here. Welcome to everyone. Elio is out sick tonight. He has a splitting headache and is just taking a lot of muscle relaxant. Now, normally I would have encouraged him to go ahead and host anyway, because a slurring Elio is a hilarious Elio. But we would be here until midnight having him read his lines 5 and 6 times a piece. That's no good for anyone. So he's going to go ahead and take the night off and be back next week.
Feel better, Elio.
Yes, feel better. We know he's listening. He says he's going to take his medicine and go to sleep, but we know that's not true.
I heard he pulled a muscle trying to comb that giant swath of hair that he has now.
Yeah, see, I did this earlier. I did this earlier off air. Off air.
Wow.
But,
see, I just shaved it.
I'm not to Elio's majesty yet, but I'm catching up.
Pompadours need to make a resurgence.
I think by necessity they might be. I'm going to go find some pomade.
All right, Twitch is still not working. I can't figure out how to mute Facebook, so if you're chatting at us, I'm not being able to see it.
What I might do, taking the place of Tony tonight, is Tony. Hello, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, good to see you, Tony.
Nice to see you too, Tony.
Yeah, so I might ask the social media version of Tony, if social media version of Tony might do a quick tweet or something saying, "Hey, we're having trouble with Twitch. Feel free to check us out on Facebook." Just so folks know that we're live, but maybe just not on their favorite streaming platform consumption device window.
Are we live on Mixer?
I hope so.
Is that like MySpace?
The last hurrah for a dying...
Yeah, it's not like MySpace. Yes. It's as relevant as MySpace now. And always was.
Yeah, well, Microsoft can't win everything. They got Windows, right? So, not everything can be Zune. That enduring platform. That's misses from time to time. So,
I love how most of the services I use were not around 5 years ago. Like Discord came in and swept the nation, and nobody uses Ventrilo or TeamSpeak anymore. I was gonna say
Mumble.
TeamViewer.
Who did Mumble back in the time?
We
Mumble,
had
yeah.
Mumble. Yeah, we
Mumble?
had a we had a Mumble page with
I can go way back
Priority
to
One
AIM.
with the Armada.
You can go back to what?
I can
What?
go way back to AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. AIM. Yeah. Everybody had an AIM account. I used to work at a law office where everyone under 40 was on AOL Instant Messenger and no one over 40 was. And
Yeah.
that was kind of a trip.
You crazy
That was
kids,
fun.
and you're crazy, whatever that is.
Everybody else knew what was going on, but if you were
Don't
over
need a computer.
yeah, if you were over 40, you had no clue what was going on. So
Call me on the darn phone.
Well, I can see it on YouTube, but I can't chat because I don't have my own channel.
Everything, yeah, I think Twitch is the only thing we're having a problem with.
well, it would be Twitch, the most popular gaming, viewing streaming service thing of all time. Can we post on the Twitch channel, even if we're not broadcasting? Do we
Yes.
just post on the Twitch channel?
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, send
actually
folks
easier.
over to YouTube
Yeah.
and Facebook if they're interested in catching us live. That'd be fantastic. Really appreciate that.
Oh wait, we're on. Wait, Twitch is working.
It is? Okay, good.
I don't know when it started, but it's working now.
I've
Maybe
been
when
I've
Tony
been messing
logged
with it.
in to, maybe when Tony logged in to put a message on there.
I've been messing with it behind the scenes, so maybe I finally kicked it.
You thumped it in the right place.
I did,
You hit-
yeah.
you Arthur Fonzarelli did it right in the.
I
in the
did.
Right spot.
Hey.
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 All right.
Hey.
Is your office the bathroom too?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, is that?
That's a personal
everybody's?
question, I think.
Why do you think I
else
cover?
does
That's where.
Why do you think I
that's
cover
where
my seat
Fonzie's
with a
office-
blanket?
I told y'all about those conference calls I have to have, and I swear that guy calls in from the bathroom. Like every
Maybe.
time now. Every time it's like a thing now. It's just really disturbing.
Whoever that is, they have kids.
Yeah. It's the only place they can close the door.
Yeah, must be.
Well, all right. Well, good. I think we're the tech seems to be going okay. We're all here. We're all. I mean, at least nominally ready to do this. So we could
Nominally.
start. Nominally, we're nominally ready to do this. So we could start really any time now. And
We're going to provide a minimum viable podcast.
a minimum viable podcast. That's right. We have assembled the just the bare minimum
The
requirements.
adequate.
to put one of these-
We've assembled the adequate team to put this
Right,
together.
right. But let's keep
Is
our
that the A?
expectations
That's
low.
the A team, right?
Yes, that's
Team
what-
adequate.
That's exactly what it stands for. That's exactly what it
I
stands
like
for.
All right, adequate team. Just
Nice.
because I'm taking Elijah's place, I have to ask everybody if they've all tested their Audacity.
No, I have
I
not.
have. Yes.
So I have to ask. See over the guard
This
frequency.
is a
we do that
test of the
during
emergency Tony
introduction.
system. Remember,
Right.
this is only a test.
This is only a test of the emergency Tony system. So right.
Should this be an actual Tony,
Only a test of-
you will be invited to an award ceremony.
What for the adequacy awards?
No, for the Tony Awards.
Tony,
Oh,
have
for the-
you
right.
Tony, have you ever seen The Producers?
No, but I'm familiar with the.
Oh, there's a wait, with the musical? Wait, I'm confused.
It's the same story. It's Springtime for Hitler. They oversell a production.
Oh, right, but in the musical movie, there's a scene where they try to convince the director to do the show, and they say, "Think of the Tony," and then they go, "Tony, Tony, 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 Tony." So for a long time, that was my ringtone. Tony, 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 Tony.
Nice.
So-
All right, we all tested. We all good?
I'm good.
Yes.
We think we're all right.
I had a little scare earlier because Audition changed their icon color. It used to be a greenish color, and now it's purple.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
I know.
Great.
Did you take your muscle relaxant and lie down?
No, I'm very stressed about it. I'm on edge. I think I'm
Okay.
recording in Premiere. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, if you need to take some strong drugs to calm down for a little bit, you just go ahead and do that, and we'll keep doing the show because it'll be hilarious. All right. All right. If everybody's ready, let's get the big red button. I'll go ahead and count down the LEO way so everyone knows how.
I mean, that is the correct way.
It is the absolute wrong way.
It is the correct
Skippy will
way.
back me up on this.
Wait, you're going to count down in Spanish?
I can, but I'm not going to. All right. Everybody,
thought
let's
he
hit
was
the big
Cuban.
red button. I don't speak Cuban. In 3, 2, 1, Go.
Wait,
This is Tony, intro, sync 1.
This is Cat intro sync 2.
this is Anthony, intro sync back to 3.
This is Skippy intro sync 4.
All right, intro in 3, 2. Anthony, why don't you take the cold?
Okay. This week on episode 466 of Priority 1, we trek out Star Trek's Emmy campaigning. Oh, that was not great. This week on episode 466 of Priority 1, we trek out Star Trek's Emmy campaigning, more Lower Decks, and non-Simon Pegg movie news. Sort of.
More Lower Deck news.
More Lower Deck news? Okay. This week on episode 466 of Priority 1, we trek out Star Trek's Emmy campaigning, more Lower Decks news, more Lower Decks, right? It's Lower Decks. Is the name
I
of
think
the
it's
show.
lower. Yeah, I think it's Lower Decks. We got some news on this. Yeah, Lower Decks, plural. Yep.
This week on episode 466 of Priority 1, we trek out Star Trek's Emmy campaigning, more Lower Decks news, and non-Simon Pegg movie news. Sort of. In Star Trek Gaming, Timelines releases its newest event, and Fleet Command takes to the airwaves.
Hello, Captains. You're listening to episode 466 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast, your weekly recap and review of all the major news happening in the Star Trek multiverse. This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020, and available for download or streaming on Friday, June 26th at PriorityOnePodcast.com. I'm Tony.
I'm Cat.
And I'm Anthony.
And we're missing Elio tonight, but he's out sick and he'll be back next week. Get better soon, my friend. And here in the audio booth is our chief audio engineer, Skippy.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Skippy.
Nine.
I'm like, am I supposed to read that one?
Oh, no, it's me, isn't it? Sorry. Before we jump into the news, we want to invite you to join in on the weekly conversations, whether via social media platforms like facebook.com/Priority One Podcast, on Twitter or Instagram at Priority One Pod, or by email to incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com.
Now, maintaining all these great features would not be possible with the help and support of our Patreons, our folks like you in the audience that want to continue to get the very best of Star Trek delivered to your ear holes every single week. But during this time, we're also very well aware that not everyone can make that financial contribution due to the continuing pandemic or other circumstances. Please, in lieu of financial support, a share, a like, telling your friends and fellow Trekkies about our show is always a big help to us. And don't forget that there are also a number of charitable organizations these days that could sure use your help with regard to the ongoing protests and civil rights and civil liberties issues surrounding our nation at this time. So please keep someone in your mind to support, whether it's us or a worthy charity. Did we do Sleepy John last week?
I don't
I'm going to say it anyway. I don't care. We'll keep welcoming him. It's okay.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can be
like-
welcome every week.
I feel like that was 10 years ago.
But we'll keep welcoming you anyway because it's here in the
Okay.
show notes.
Right on.
And speaking of patrons, we want to welcome Sleepy John for... let's try that again. And speaking of patrons, we want to welcome Sleepy John to our Patreon family.
Oh, that's me. Now, let's check out the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse.
All right, everybody, hit stop. And then export
Hey,
that.
people in assorted chats. I'm like, now I'm paging between the chats.
Hello, everyone in assorted chats.
Oh, I saw Jamal Taylor. And I saw Claudia on the YouTube chat. What's up, guys?
Good evening, all. Right.
Like, I really can't even remember last week's show. Did we have a show? We did have a show last week.
We did, because your dogs almost killed your cats like 8 times.
That's right. Yeah, I still
That's-
have. I have injuries from that.
I believe that. That was
They
there was
have.
danger.
He's gotten into trouble. He's not. Obvious. So far, knock on wood, there has been not drama, but that could change at any moment.
Well, we're all ready and willing to sit here and watch while you deal with that. I guess. I don't know what we're gonna do from.
I like to hope that this dog is getting better because he's really sweet, but for the cat thing.
Yeah, except for wanting to murder the other mammals in your house, he's really great.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if anyone out there, is really wanting to give a good home to a lovely feral hound, you message me.
And you can make it to Austin and back to wherever you live.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to come. I mean, maybe I can meet you, but it just depends. And, I'd have to see your backyard and the fence and all that.
Due diligence. Due diligence is important. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I can't just give them to anybody.
All right. We all good? We all exported?
No.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, wait.
We'll make good radio for a little while longer than I guess.
Audio.
How about great radio?
Again, I want to manage expectations.
Thanks.
Not get out of hand.
Let's
here.
be realistic.
What are we in? 466. Oh my gosh. So crazy.
500 episodes in 34 weeks.
All right, I'm ready now.
All right. We're all ready to go. Let's
go.
get on the big red button here and hit it in 3, 2, 1, go. This is Tony. Check it out. Sync 1.
This is Kat. Check it out. Sync 2.
This is Anthony. Check it out. Sync 3.
This is Skivvy. Check it out. Sync 4.
All right. Check it out in 3, 2. Well, it's campaign season again, but it's not Red Hats versus Blue Waves or any other such nonsense. We're talking about important stuff. Campaigning for entertainment industry awards. Okay, so campaigning for a trophy may not be as important as campaigning for a trophy may not be as important as deciding who makes the policies that govern our lives, but that's what we cover. On Saturday, June 20th, Star Trek Picard, executive producer and On Saturday, June 20th, Star Trek Picard, executive producer and star Sir Patrick Stewart sat down with Deadline's Dominic Patton to discuss the series and make a pitch for an Emmy on Contenders TV. Stewart, as has become custom, led with the tale of his initial rejection of a Picard revival. He did, however, refer to a project we often discuss on this program, Logan. Quote, I compared it to the last movie that Hugh Jackman and I did in the X-Men franchise, Logan, which could not have been more different than every single moment in the films that have gone before. And I said, if you can do something like that, not the same old thing, I don't want to be driving around chanting nursery rhymes in a bleeping old wheelchair, but if you can find that transformation of the man and his spirit, then I'm up for it, end quote. Stewart also talked about his excitement in reuniting with his former Next Gen co-stars before giving away a possible hint about season 2. Quote, it was very desirable and a very emotional experience to be reunited Let me try that again. It was very desirable and a very emotional experience to be reunited with Jonathan, with Mariner Sirtis, and with Brent, who, although he doesn't appear that often, he has a very significant role in season 1, and maybe he might again in season 2. But I can say no more than that. Sorry to be so coy. End quote. For the full 11-minute long interview, follow the link in our show notes.
This just confirms to me that he was supposed to die at the end.
Doesn't it? Yeah, they could have kept Hugh and killed Picard, which
that would have made
think
sense.
would have been better.
I mean, they claim it was the idea from the very beginning that they were going to put him in an android body.
I don't know.
I'm sure they're going to claim that now.
Yeah, and the Logan thing just keeps coming up. It just keeps coming up over and over again. How he wanted it to be that kind of a story. Someone who was beyond his years but still had a contribution to make, needing to do one last thing before he let go. I mean, even the little girl in Logan is like the little girl in Picard.
I think that they had it planned from the beginning that they had the option to make a choice. I think they planned it in such a way that if Patrick Stewart didn't want to do season 2, they could just kill him, and if he did, then they could put him in an android body.
Now, see, that I'll buy.
Plan B. Yeah, they had a
think.
plan B.
That I'll buy, because they wouldn't really. Yep, here you go. We've got the whole great arc. You're one season in and you're done. Why don't you come join us in the writers' room and let's see how it goes? and he gets to the writer's room and he likes what's happening and he gets enthusiastic into it, and he's like, one day he goes in there, I don't have to die, do I? And they're like, I like more money. Do you like more money? And they're like, yes, we do. And so, yeah, I buy that. I buy that version of it for sure.
Patrick Stewart wasn't alone on the campaign trail. This week, Star Trek director and trailblazer Hannalee Culpepper.
One more time with the Trailblazer.
Patrick Stewart wasn't alone on the campaign trail. This week, Star Trek director and trailblazer.
I know. See, you wouldn't think it'd be a tongue twister, but it is.
Patrick Stewart wasn't alone on the campaign trail. This week, Star Trek director and trailblazer Hannalee Culpepper talked with.
Hanel. Is it Hanel?
No, it's Hannalee. We all thought it was
okay.
Hanel, but it's when she was on the show with what's it called? Ready Room with Will
Ready
Wheaton?
Room with Will.
Yeah.
Will.
He kept calling her Hannalee to her face, so I'm assuming that's her name.
They would have had time to fix that in post.
I
for
mean,
sure.
I'm just saying.
Is that a Puff the Magic Dragon reference?
That's the only
Was
time
that-
I've ever heard it.
I know, right? Me too. Wow. Well, that's an awesome name.
Patrick Stewart wasn't alone on the campaign trail. This week, Star Trek director and trailblazer Hannalee Culpepper talked with Variety about directing Picard's first 3 episodes. Culpepper discussed her visual approach to the series, saying, quote, I wanted it to feel inspired by where Picard was on his emotional journey. He was living in a vineyard. He felt trapped. So I wanted to have a little bit more of a static frame, and then go handheld once his world is rocked in the pilot. We switched to handheld cameras pretty much as possible after that. In Star Trek, we have to get those big cinematic shots with drones and cranes and stuff, but we always wanted to not forget that it's really a character-driven series with Picard at the heart, end quote. In regards to directing Sir Patrick Stewart and the cohesion of the writers and actors, Culpepper said, quote, because he was so involved with the writers and a lot of the things that he felt about his character were already incorporated into the script. So for me, it was just about creating the safe space where he could do the things he wanted to do. He was still collaborative with me, but ultimately it was nice to be in a situation where the actor and the writers are all on the same page for who this character is, end quote. For more from Culpepper, including her inclusion in the inaugural class of the Reframe Rise program, check out the link in our show notes.
What's the Reframe Rise program?
It is a comprehensive and customized 2-year sponsorship program that provides high-level endorsement and career acceleration for experienced female directors who are poised to lead commercial features and high-profile television shows, according to the production
Nice.
notes.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Commander
Jake.
Data.
That's excellent.
Show notes courtesy of our producer, Jake. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
I feel like we've talked about that before, maybe.
It's possible. I mean, and
But I already said I couldn't even remember last week's show, so.
and for as much complaining as I've done personally about Picard, it's a beautifully shot show. I mean, as far as direction and things like that, I mean, it's an exceptionally well crafted piece of television.
Yeah, did you watch those Ready Room episodes with Will Wheaton?
I don't watch the extra stuff.
Oh,
It's
Anthony,
pretty.
did you watch those?
Yeah, I did, and it's funny because the first couple of iterations of the Ready Room, like the Ready Room and After Trek, I think that this version with Will Wheaton is actually the best. And I did see all those episodes with Hannalee Culpepper, and really great insight. I mean, she's definitely a talented filmmaker. I remember when we watched her episode of Discovery, I was a little concerned about her being hired to start off Picard. But I actually thought the first 3 episodes were fairly strong. As far as the rest of the series goes, I think it started off really well, and I thought she did a fantastic job. And I'm really glad that she's a part of the Star Trek franchise, and hopefully she'll do more on Picard season 2, or even maybe she's got some episodes in Discovery season 3. It'll be great to see her work again.
Yeah, I loved Picard. I mean, the first intro, and when she talked in the Ready Room about her color choices and all the thought that she put into it, it was really interesting. So yeah. Anyway. It seems the Lower Decks hype train is leaving the station, which means the show can't be far behind. This week, Entertainment Weekly discussed the animated Star Trek series with creator and showrunner Mike McMahon. McMahon once again separated Lower Decks from his other hit cartoon comedy Rick and Morty, telling EW, quote, "The fun of Rick and Morty is that it breaks down sci-fi tropes and is told through Rick Sanchez, Quote, "The fun of Rick and Morty is that it breaks down sci-fi tropes and is told through Rick Sanchez, who has a very specific, chaotic, nihilistic lens," he says. Lower Decks treats mythological sci-fi things just as important as regular Trek show, while finding new stories to tell just from a different angle. It's not disassembling mythological sci-fi things, it's treating them as important for everybody on the starship as it would be in a regular Star Trek show. End quote. McMahon confirmed the series takes place during the Next Generation's time period before teasing possible cameos, saying, quote, "Next Gen is my favorite era, and as a huge Trek fan, I would definitely want to try to use some of them so that I could not only build out the world, but also work with some of my heroes. But I can't get more specific than that. You'll have to wait and see." End quote. Along with the story are a couple of new stills, one featuring a dirty and torn crew with TNG Type 2 phasers. Oh, whoops, there's more to that. Along with the story are a couple new stills, one featuring a dirty and torn crew with TNG Type 2 phasers pulled, and another with Lower Decks. Is it the Lower Decks gang?
Yeah, do that.
Along with the story are a couple of new stills, one featuring a dirty and torn crew with TNG Type 2 phasers pulled, and another with the Lower Decks gang enjoying what looks to be margaritas.
A tweet that I saw was margaritas, cold, salt.
Yeah.
Actually, those are space margaritas because they're having them in space.
Well, you wouldn't tell the replicator that though. The replicator would just look at you like you're stupid. Like
It's
no
implied.
kidding, man.
Yeah, it's
Replicators don't have eyes. How are they going to look
They
at
have
me?
little
sensors.
Yeah. How would they know whose
Internal
space?
sensors.
How would they know whose space lunch card to punch? I mean, if you got replicator rations, they don't know. You'd have to know who's ordering the stuff.
I guess.
So,
I did read somewhere that the show actually takes place right after Nemesis, I believe. So,
well, they changed the uniform, so that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be cool to see sort of that time frame and sort of what's going on. And I love the concept of, bringing in the cameos and how nothing's off limits. And I think that's going to be like the fan service show that we can all go to if we need that.
Please have Michael Dorn. That would be so good.
I'm sure he's already put his hand up and has volunteered. I'm sure that he's already asked.
There has to be like some Klingon. That would be awesome.
I want John Delancey.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's Discord in My Little Pony. Of course, he's gonna show up as animated Q in this one.
Wouldn't it be great though if he just like shows up for like 5 seconds and then leaves, like just a little, like just randomly throughout the series?
He's like, "Oh wait, you're not the captain. I want to talk to the guy in charge." And like peeps out, just.
Well, if
flashes
it's TNG time period, I mean,
out. Sure, why not? Yeah.
Why not? Oh man. That'd be
And
awesome.
that's a good point here because I like that Q's a good intersection between Rick and Morty and Star Trek because Q views everything as a trope, right? It's like, oh, another gaseous anomaly. Oh, just change the gravitational constant. What's the big deal? I mean, that's a good intersection. So I think having Q in at least one episode would be a really good way to mix the sentiments and the tone from Rick and Morty with Star Trek.
He wants to do something nice for me.
I'll alert the crew.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Now let's talk Star Trek movies for a second. Before you ask, this is not another interview with Simon Pegg, but don't worry, he's involved peripherally. This week, Kelvin Spock actor Zachary Quinto was promoting the second season of his AMC series Nos 4A2 with...
Nosferatu?
I know this is a running joke, but it's spelled out Nos.
I'm sorry.
I-
It's his license plate. Did you ever? Well, anyway.
I never watched it, but that's what I figured. But the whole history of me mispronouncing Nosferatu for long-time listeners of Priority One, it's So, yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna
new
go ahead and read
here.
it again, just the
I'm
way I
new
just
here. Okay, go ahead.
you're
I'm
not-
gonna go get more wine.
did. That. Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
This week
Snort.
on the Nosferatu podcast,
Yeah, the
Kat tells
Nosferatu
us about this week's latest episode.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you where the best tofu is in the galaxy. Tune in.
Yes, not for tofu. Okay. This week, Kelvin Spock actor Zachary Quinto was promoting the second season of his. Now I'm in my own head now. I'm there.
No,
This
Kat's
is-
in your
I'm
head
gonna
now.
trailblazer this.
Cat's in
I'm
your
gonna-
head.
I'm gonna trailblazer this the whole way here. now.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
All right. This week, Kelvin Spock actor Zachary Quinto was promoting the second season of his AMC series Nos for A2 with comicbook.com. The conversation turned to Star Trek, and Quinto was asked for his thoughts on, wait for it, Simon Pegg's comments about Star Trek being more suited for television. Quinto responded, quote, "It's already thriving in the television format with Discovery and Picard and the spin-offs," Quinto said. "I can't even keep track of how many new Star Trek stories are being told since our last film in 2016. All I know is that we, all of us, had an incredible experience making those films. If there's an appetite for more of those stories with us in them, I'm sure that we would all be thrilled to come back and do one more or whatever, but I'm not really attached to it anymore," end quote. Quinto elaborated on his comment saying, quote, "I stepped away from any expectation or real certainty that it's ever going to happen again. I think that's the only real way to move through the world, right? If it happens, that'd be great, and I'm not going to sit around waiting. If it happens, that'd be great, but I'm not going to sit around waiting for it to happen. I have lifelong friendships from those films and working relationships and a lot of respect and fond memories. So if that's what it ends up being, and I can look back on my life and say that's what it was, then that's incredible. And if we do get to do more, that's also incredible," end quote. Does this mean that the Noah Hawley project won't feature the Kelvin timeline crew? No, not definitively, but it certainly doesn't instill confidence that it will either.
So I think the next Star Trek movie project needs to be Star Trek Avengers. It needs to be, they need to round up as many of characters from the different shows and do one big movie, saving the time continuum, and then celebrating 50 plus years of Star Trek, and then sort of closing the chapter on all the old stuff and starting the new chapter moving forward is what I think they should do.
So what you want is the latest episode of Star Trek Online.
Well, I mean, not as long and not as boring, but yes.
Oh, dang.
That's not true. I really enjoyed the episodes. I shouldn't have said that. I really enjoyed those episodes, playing them through a couple times.
Take the last 5 minutes and then expand that out. Like you
Yeah,
said,
well,
all the
exactly. Like something happens, they got to go and round up these different people because they're experts in what they need to do. Bring Kira along, Bashir, bring Data, Picard. Set it in. Bring Q and make it a Q thing. I mean, they sort of did this in the comic books recently with the Q conflict, where they mashed the three the TOS, TNG, Voyager, and DS9 crews together. But I say let's do it all. Let's bring in old Kirk. Let's bring in Kelvin Timeline, Discovery, everybody. Let's just do it.
I just don't see it because the fandom is. No matter what they do, everyone, it'll be like half of everybody hates it, and then everyone else likes it, and it'll just be the same stuff for all the new things.
It's just as a practical matter, getting all those people whose schedules work out at the same time for production.
Forget the practical. Oh, sorry. Oh, forget the practical matter. It's a matter of Star Trek has tried repeatedly to do what Disney's doing with Marvel, and they've proven to me over and over again that they can't pull that off.
No.
So I think if they tried to do that, it would be a
Well, they need to not try to do what Marvel does. They just need to do what Star Trek does best and make a good movie that is about
not Avengers
humanity growth, but bring in characters from different series.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like there's too many people that have a say in all that.
Yeah, there's definitely a too many cooks problem with Star Trek with that sort of stuff. But I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and say I want to see Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek.
Ooh, I do too. I bet he could do like a Section 31 Emperor Giorgio.
I want them to do
story.
Yesterday's Enterprise with the Kelvin Timeline crew.
Oh.
Go back to Kirk's dad
Oh.
and fix the Kelvin timeline.
that
That
would be
is brilliant.
That was Quentin Tarantino's idea. That was
I
Quentin
don't think
Tarantino's
that was
pitch.
his idea.
It was his pitch.
Well,
2015 podcast.
Yeah, his because he loved Yesterday's Enterprise so much, he kept insisting, that should be its own movie.
Yeah, that's the movie I want to see. And if they can find, if they want one more swan song, last ride for the Kelvin Timeline crew, which I would watch. I would definitely watch it, and that way they've got a great excuse to pull in Chris Hemsworth for another ride as George Kirk. I definitely think that that would be the way to do it.
I think that's a great idea. I would watch that also.
I would totally watch that, though.
All right, this week's community question. If Star Trek's next silver screen offering doesn't feature the Kelvin crew, what do you want it to be about? All right, that might be it there. So
Yep.
He's gonna
who do you
tell
want to
them where
sweep?
to answer.
What's that?
Do you wanna
Oh, I
tell
need to
them?
read the last part. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't read any of the red words. That's my problem.
Red words.
See, over at the other show, I just put
Red
the community
word's
question in yellow, and that's all I read. And so, but there's red words here. I need to read the red words. That leads us to our first community question this week. If Star Trek's next silver screen offering doesn't feature the Kelvin crew, what do you want it to be about? Let us know in the comments section for this episode at PriorityOnePodcast.com or by replying to our community question post on our social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And Kat, would you sweep us out again?
Yes. Well, Captains, that's all the news we have to Trek out this week. Now let's find out what happened in the world of Star Trek gaming.
Okay, stop there. Export it.
Exporting. What is this?
Danger Will Robinson.
Exporting Will Robinson. I don't know.
Actually looking forward to Lost in Space Season 3.
What?
What?
I didn't even see season 2.
I got too stressed out with season 1. I couldn't watch past
And
like, the third
the only
episode.
reason I watched season 1 is because we did it for After Hours for like a
right.
year, and it was oof.
I was on Season 1. I really kind of liked Season 2.
Season 2's better.
Season 2 was pretty good.
All right, I'll check it out.
Season 1 was a little
I don't
uneven.
know.
Season 2, they straightened out most of the things I thought was wrong with Season 1. There was still some of the come on. There was still some of that, but they largely smoothed all that out.
Oh,
and
good.
I really want to see Season 3.
Oh, hey Lawrence. Hi Lawrence.
Just
Thanks for
happened.
tuning in.
4, 6, 6.
By the way, for the first half of the show, everybody was obsessing over Skiffy's flower.
Oh,
They
yeah.
wanted to know where it was from,
that's
what was going on.
I saw somebody comment about the flower. No, this is actually wood.
It's wood.
And yeah,
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow.
It's made of wood.
That's really cool.
and it came as a birthday. It came on a birthday card
Oh, cool.
Must have been from a memorable person.
or an anniversary card. I don't remember which.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that too loud.
I'm really bad at remembering who gave me the cards. But yeah, no, this I just loved it so much that it's just always been on my mic cable ever since.
It's pretty.
All right, I'm ready.
Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready.
All right, so Elio asked me to just ad-lib a little something here right at the beginning, so that's what we're going to do. And then if you scroll down to the salmon-colored box.
The other gaming news.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So color coordinated.
We sure are. So
Written by our very own Advisory Panda.
yes, Mr. Advisory Panda. And so Anthony, if you would go ahead and do another gaming news, and then go ahead and take that, and then Kat do the next one. Oh, Kat, do you have Armada news you want to talk about?
I do.
You do. And
do.
so is that where is that?
I mean-
That's
Is it in
above
there?
it.
Is it above it?
I have a couple things I can mention.
It's in the other. It's in the rawer salmon-colored box.
Oh, I don't know. That's more of a lavender. Is that a lavender?
Really?
Kirk.
I see. That looks like salmon to me. The one below it looks like
I'm
a
gonna
darker
call the Priority
salmon.
One Armada lavender, and I think the other one's salmon. That's what I.
Oh my
you have
God,
a-
y'all.
do you have a
One's
dark-
raw
Really?
salmon, one's smoked salmon. That's what I would
I
say.
would prefer a mauve. Do we have a mauve?
A
in
mauve?
Our repertoire?
That's kind of a
Do we have
fuchsia, actually.
in our palette. I don't know.
That's a very deep eggshell.
I'm
But I
just
like
going
the
to say
periwinkle.
the
I-
top
I've got
one
a-
is obviously lilac.
Oh
Lilac?
my
Okay,
God!
all right.
That is
I'll
not
give you
lilac.
Okay.
That is.
Yes,
that
it
is.
is.
I have lilacs in my backyard. That looks nothing like.
Well, now lilac.
I like the color and
paint.
I
The
like the
color,
Yeah. Two
not the
different- yeah.
flower.
What do you think?
Which
The
smell-
I'll
co-
give
It's
lilac.
like salmon.
but the
salmon
color
fish
is
versus
modeled
salmon
after the
color.
flower.
The outside of the fish doesn't look like that.
There's
No, it doesn't. It's
varieties.
the exterior salmon, interior salmon.
Oh my God. Let's get to the end, please.
All right.
And
so,
by the way, I want to say that I have a dark mode filter on mine, so that is definitely maroon. It's the same color.
maroon.
as my shirt.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. We're gonna do. I'll give my little ad lib thing. We'll go down to the reddish, orangish box down here.
The other gaming news box, like the
Yeah,
title
the
says.
other gaming
Okay.
news box.
Top, the middle,
Tony-
and the bottom.
Yeah, Anthony will read the first one. I'll read the second bit, and then Kat, you wrap us up with Armada news. Does that sound all right?
Yes, that
All right,
sounds
great.
fine.
That's how we'll do it. All right, everybody, let's hit the big red button in 3, 2,
Mine's more maroon.
1. Shut up. Go. This is Tony. Gaming news. Sync 1.
I just screwed up that intro to this gaming news segment in Sync 2. This is Kat.
This is Anthony. Gaming news sync 3.
This is Skiffy Gaming News Sync 4.
All right, gaming news in 3, 2. Well, this week in Star Trek Online news, we're still waiting, and we're patient. And we would like to think that serious plans are being discussed and considered at this time to answer our call to action for Cryptic to go ahead and make a statement of concrete support for the civil rights and liberties of everyone in this country and for supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. It's important to us. I think it's important to everybody in the gaming industry and in the gaming community and in the Star Trek community in particular to know that the Gene Roddenberry's lifelong commitment to infinite diversity and infinite combinations is honored by everybody who makes a living off of that legacy. So we're patient. We're waiting. We'll welcome your message when it comes.
In other gaming news, June continues to be a big month for Star Trek Timelines players as the Before and After inspired mega event's third installment runs from June 25th to June 29th. Kessa's voyage through her people's past continues with Rage Against the House. That's not it.
Or the machine.
Raging
Against something.
I saw Against the, and I immediately thought Rage.
Right.
Kessa's voyage through her people's past continues with Against the House, a galaxy event for the Federation and Terran Empire factions. This event's ranked reward is the new 5-star Krenim Guest Chakotay, along with the new 5-star Dr. Van Gogh, 4-star Karen Archer, as seen in the Enterprise episode E², and returning 4-star Krenim Officer Obrist as event crew. As always, players will receive a high bonus for the event crew and the mega event's recurring featured 5-star crew Suspira? Suspira.
I like Suspira.
Thank you. As always, players will receive a high bonus for the event crew and mega event's recurring featured 5-star crew Suspira. Small bonuses will apply for any variant of the Doctor, EMH, or crew with the Warp Theorist or Caregiver traits.
Star Trek Fleet Command has published the first episode of their own official podcast called Commander's Hub. The inaugural episode features a wide-ranging interview with The inaugural episode features a wide-ranging interview with game designer Keenser, covering such topics as the impact of COVID-19 on the game's development, how they prioritize bug fixing, adding a black market mechanic to the game, targeting new content to both low and high-level players, PC game client possibilities, game server merge needs and plans, and the life cycle for Borg event content. If you're curious about these Fleet Command topics, you can catch the podcast on YouTube via the link in our show notes.
All right. Well, to Armada news. This week in Armada news, if you were not aware, we have an event every Thursday where we team up with other Armada members to earn marks in dilithium on TFO Thursday. So all you have to do is check your events tab in the fleet window, and it will tell you what time that happens in your local time zone. Also, this Saturday is a big day. We're not only having our telethon. Is that still happening? Did we guys make an announcement about that?
Yeah, I think that one, logistics
No?
are getting in the way, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
Haven't heard.
all right, let me back up then. Also in Armada news, this Saturday we are having a big day since we postponed a bunch of our anniversary events, but it's our 7th year anniversary in the Armada, and we are celebrating. We are having our costume contest and our big triathlon this Saturday. So again, check your events tab in the fleet window for your local time zone, and join us if you're an Armada member. Sorry, my dog is attacking my desk.
They started shaking. I was like, oh no, that either means impending murder or an actual earthquake.
No, okay, so I thought I could bribe the dog with treats to keep him calm, and now he's thinking he's just going to jump up here and dance on my desk because he needs these
He's like,
treats.
Oh, it's treats time. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if any of that Armada news was salvageable.
What I might have you do is just go back to the part where you talked about the Saturday. Just go back to talk about.
All right, hold on. Hush, you guys. Okay. Also in Armada news, we have a big day Saturday. As my
The dogs are excited.
curses.
The dogs are excited.
Yeah,
they're ready to go to the triathlon, which will involve.
Oh no, they're ready
treat
for the
eating,
costume
and
contest.
digging things.
You should see.
Yeah,
you
know
should see
they
what
are
they're sewing.
excited about the costume contest. It's going to be awesome. We're having 7 theme costume contests. Anyway, check the Armada website for more details. But anyway, what I was saying was this Saturday we are continuing our 7th year anniversary celebrations with 2 events. So again, check your events tab in the fleet window, and that will tell you what time all that is happening in your local time zone. If you are an Armada member, yeah, please join us because we're giving away so much stuff, tons of stuff, billions of EC of stuff. Well, in total throughout the month. But we're going to have some amazing giveaways on Saturday. So, yeah. Anyway, check out the website, PriorityOneArmada.com, if you would like to join. And we have all the information about the events posted on there.
Let's, Anthony, you want to sweep us out of there?
Yeah. What are we sweeping to? Oh,
feedback?
hailing frequencies? Okay. That's all we have to cover this week. Now, let's open hailing frequencies and see what's incoming.
All right, stop there.
Nice.
Export that.
Exporting. Do we still call it Stowe News in the file name, or?
Well, I mean, we're not going to change file names. Forget that. I mean, that's
Yeah, we're 466 episodes into the structure. We can't
not
just...
going to.
What do you think we are? Guard frequency?
Once upon a time, they tried to change the bumpers. There's the "I'm only in the mood for good news" and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And trick it out, and we got letters. Oh, we got letters.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah. This was a long time ago. They remixed the bumpers, and people's like, "Where'd the old bumpers go? Bring those back." Like, okay, we brought them back, and we haven't touched them since.
I listen to a board gaming podcast, and every other week they do a top 10, various top 10, and they're up to like 600 and something episodes, and they had this, one of the original hosts did this god awful like number 2 like countdown, right? And they hated it, so they went to change it, and like everybody was like, "No, you can't do that. You can't take it away. We expect it now. You can't take it out of the show. It's got to stay in."
It's tradition. It's almost like an omen, right? A good omen to keep it.
Oh, did we lose Tony?
Oh no.
He legit looks frozen this time. He's not just standing still.
Uh-oh.
Tony, if you
Technical
can hear us, blink
difficulties.
your eyes.
Oh,
Oh,
there he
no.
goes.
Psych.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
When good internet connections go bad.
Well, we'll just wait for Tony to come back
Okay.
because he's the captain this week. So
Oh yeah, it
And-
said that we
And
lost our.
currently he's gone on his yacht.
he's taking the captain's yacht for a spin.
Zeph Films asked in Twitch chat, "What if you are not a member?" And really, Zeph, I thought you had at least one character in the Armada. But yeah, I mean, the events are technically for members only.
But you can join, and I think you covered that in the segment. It's
Yeah.
possible to join by visiting the website.
Yes, I mean, surely you have more than one character. I just had to make a new character.
Why did you have to make a new character?
Well, we can talk about it later.
Oh, okay. I thought this would be a good time because we have nothing else to talk about, but I guess
you
not.
know, there was a certain Romulan pack that I swore I wasn't gonna buy, and yeah, I know. Now I hate myself.
Why do you hate yourself? Because you get to play a new Romulan character?
A, I made another character. B, I bought that pack.
Okay.
But
See, you
the-
instantly went to level 65.
I know that was kind of magical. Because that's part of the beat down about making new characters.
Yeah.
I gotta say. So now you can be in. It's pretty amazing to go straight to 65.
I never found it. Once you unlock the
It's
DOF
a-
system, it goes really fast.
It does, but you still have to play the missions and whatnot.
I always wait for a bonus XP weekend, and then I buy another XP boost, and
Right.
then I can, if I sit down at the computer, I can probably do it in 4 hours. I can go from 0 to 65 in 4 hours
You level
Yeah,
all the way up in 4 hours.
on a
the
bonus
XP
XP weekend
boost.
with an XP boost. Like basically, you get the maximum amount of.
So what do you play to do that?
You just play high level missions, or what I do is I actually start and I go, okay, I know I need gear from these 5 missions or whatever, so I
Right.
go and I run those first, and then I repeat them to get the gear. Then I
If you want,
increase the difficulty
nickel
level
shields
to get
and-
maximum,
yeah.
to get maximum XP, and then you just really play through all of them, because you look for ones that are like 37,000 XP that they're going to give you, and then you just go to town.
I just go to level 11 and then I doff it the rest of the way. Until you get to the Armada. Armada? No.
Admiralty.
System.
Admiralty.
So
And then
Skiffy-
Admiralty will take you from 60 to Admiralty will take you the
52.
rest of the way in like a day. You can
Yeah,
get
52. Yeah, at the level 52, the world's a different place.
So when you log into your character, do you run your DOF missions and then your character goes to its bridge and sits on the chair and just goes,
yeah,
Yes, and
I'm
I walk to
leveling.
another room and do something else entirely.
yeah.
It's magical. That's the
Skippy
way
is
it
the
should
captain
be,
of
right?
his own
If you're the
ship.
captain, you're not doing all this work yourself.
I
You're
will
sending us
admit,
the crew.
when I run DOF missions on some of my characters, I actually go to my bridge, walk into my ready room, sit at my ready room, and then open the DOF tab and do
Contact
my
your
stuff.
duty officers.
do you-
Well,
do you
some
get-
of those are fun to do from your
Do you
bridge.
get a tablet and just sit there and go, I wish I could do this on my tablet.
Oh yeah, no, I bought.
You can do your pad. You can read the pad, with your emotes.
And by the way, you can play Stow on a tablet if you have Shadow.
Oh, the NVIDIA thing. Yeah,
or
true.
TeamViewer or Parsec.
It's true.
I guess you could play it off on a tablet now.
Oh, Tim3Wolf says in chat on Twitch that if you do those lockbox missions, the temporal ones or the Zenkethi ones or the Terran ones, you get those from the lockbox. Those also help boost your XP. Yeah, and you get
Huge XP.
big chunk of dilithium for those too. So
And you
yes,
can get
those are
some,
worth it.
Good tips.
And you can get some rare doffs from some of them as well, which is
Yeah.
nice.
True.
All right, well, that'll do it for our speed run clinic on Star Trek Online this week. So
Yeah. All right.
Weekly top tip.
our weekly top tip,
back.
Weekly
which
top tip.
which I'm certain we'll bring back very soon, just as soon as things get better, as soon as things
Agreed.
change. We're patient. All right, if everybody could hit the big red button for feedback, we'll do that in 3, 2, 1. This is Tony. Feedback, sync 1.
This is Kat. Feedback sync 2.
This is Anthony. Feedback sync 3.
This is Skiffy feedback sync 4.
All right, feedback in 3, 2. Well, Captain's hailing frequencies are now open, and we're ready to receive all of your incoming messages.
Oh. Last week, our community question was, are you excited to see more Starfleet in Season 2 of Picard? Or would you prefer the second season focus on something else entirely?
From Twitter, Bertholf. Is that right? Bertholf?
Looks right.
From Twitter, Bertholf writes, I don't need Starfleet in my Trek. There are shows already covering that, and there's so much else they can cover. I'd prefer them to stay with the XBs and Romulans for a while longer. Maybe take a trip to Vernat, investigate the Separatists and the beginnings of the Republic. Yeah, I'd watch that. That'd be cool.
I'd watch that.
I don't
too.
think that's what it's
good.
going to be about, but I would watch that.
I want Fenris Rangers.
Yes.
I want Seven of Nine's Rescue Rangers. That's what I want.
I want a prequel spin-off with Seven and Hugh with the Fenris Rangers. That's what I want.
I want
Prequel
that.
spin-off, animated, miniseries, straight to video, DVD on demand. Yeah, we'll put all the buzzwords in. We'll put all the buzzwords in.
I still want a half-hour comedy Picard and Q off in the galaxy.
They kind of did that with Spock and Q. Do you remember that? They had like it was like a lecture series or an audiobook. They had Leonard
that's
Nimoy
right.
and John Delancey.
Really?
It was an
Really?
audiobook, but they both read the parts.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was that Spock versus Q thing. So yeah, I mean they could update that for sure.
Hey, give Zachary Quinto something to do.
I didn't realize he was on Nosferatu.
I mean, isn't he Nosferatu? No?
I didn't even know that was on AMC. Now I feel like I'm way behind and need to catch up.
Us doing this show teaches us so much.
I know,
we know we
seriously.
learn so many things thanks to our brilliant production staff, Shane
Cats.
Hoover and Advisory Panda and Jake Morgan. So thanks guys.
Kat's ready to do her own Nosferatu podcast.
Look, that's a great book. If you don't read any Joe Hill, you should.
Well,
I don't
after she
read
gets done with her
any
Anson Mount podcast.
Thing, period.
It's a graphic
so-
novel. It's a graphic novel, so anyway.
From Priority One Pod. Too fast. It tries to fall out of my mouth too quickly.
Reverse,
From
reverse.
PriorityOnePodcast.com, Tyler Maxwell writes in and says, I'd be okay with more Starfleet stuff in Season 2, but I'd also be okay if they didn't show up much, if at all. Jean-Luc Picard basically is Starfleet, at least the good part, trying to appeal to people's better natures, sometimes stumbling, but always working to help folks and do the right thing. Having Starfleet proper as a begrudging, sometimes partner/side character could give the show room to explore what it really means to carry forward Trek ideals outside of the group of seeming self-righteous do-gooders flying around in heavily armed spaceships while wearing matching Technicolor outfits. Harsh words.
Dang.
Harsh words, but I mean, maybe fair because they did put Jonathan Frakes in a Technicolor outfit and stick him on a carbon copy battleship that they have 1,000 of now. So, I don't know, maybe.
I was going to make a comment of how, they have all those ships that are carbon copies, but they couldn't come up with some to help people escape. What? Anyway.
Different times, 14 years ago, you know, lots of time to rebuild Mars or something, I guess. So.
On Twitter, Sean Newboy and JP Anand have similar thoughts. I want to learn more about the state of the Federation and, not necessarily Starfleet, but the Federation, its current state, and its relation to the other powers. This may mean some Starfleet, but not much.
And from Facebook, veteran Trek actor and friend of the show Tracy Lee Coco writes, hashtag bring back Lieutenant J.
Aw, yeah.
Oh yes.
Here, here.
Yes.
She should be in the Rescue Rangers.
She was at the premiere of Picard, so she may have talked to
so
some people. May never know.
I would totally watch that.
I I think she'd be. It seems like a logical place for her to go, right? She's promoted to commander or whatever, retires because she's sick of this business, but she's not ready to settle down yet. She goes out to wherever that place was. What was the geographical region? Was it just neutral zone?
Where the Fenris Rangers were? Yeah. Oh, I forget. No, it had a name. It was
yeah, it had a name.
It was like unclaimed space or something, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, my impression or my recollection was it was like where the neutral zone used to be, but it wasn't called the neutral zone anymore because there's no more Romulan Empire. So
right.
Just sort of that area. So yeah, so she hitches a ride out to that area, that part of town, the bad part of the galaxy, and she just takes up with a band of rabble rouser Robin Hood types. Seems legit. I like it. Let's do this.
In the newest,
it was former neutral zone Kiris sector.
There you go. Yeah.
Where Free Cloud was. Yeah, where Free Cloud was. I believe it.
Or she could just play like 100 characters.
No, just the one, but she'd have a different Technicolor outfit for each episode. She'd have a red one some episodes, and a blue one some episodes, and a yellow one some episodes. All right, everybody stop it there. Export that. Hopefully my internet connection doesn't die again.
Is that what happened?
Inexplicably, yeah. The router went out, or maybe it might have just been my port to the router, because I went over to my son and I said, "Hey, are you still online?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Sure?" He's like, "Yeah." Like I'm stupid. I said, "Go to a web page, any web page. I'm on a web page. Refresh it." See? I'm like, do something new so I know it's not pulling from a cache. Fine. So, it's like pulling teeth.
Don't you love that your kids love talking to you?
Well, I know, but it's they know so much about the internet, they assume that we know nothing about it.
Oh, my son, he constantly is telling me how the world works.
Aww.
And he's 7.
Only gonna get better from there.
Yeah. Oh, he's 7 going on
downhill.
17.
It just
Jeez,
goes
Dad,
downhill.
it's not how it works.
It just goes downhill.
Did you guys have good Father's Days? Skippy, you have kids, right?
I do. I've got 3 daughters.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was a good day. Very good day. Went to my
Nice.
parents' house and celebrated with my parents, which was nice.
I had a surprise visit from in-laws. My wife said that'll be fun. Why don't you come to Wichita? They're driving through, and I'm like, come on, we're still doing the pandemic stuff, guys. But we figured out how to do it on the back porch, and we ordered food in and had people at separate tables, separated by 6 feet. Still had a lovely conversation. There was a storm front that just basically sat still 60 miles west of Wichita and just sat there the whole time we were eating. It just didn't move. And we just I kept looking at the radar. I'm going, you guys want another drink? You guys, you full? You hungry? You want anything else? And then my son looked at his phone and said, hey, they just declared a severe thunderstorm warning, and the clouds had just started inching over. I'm like, okay, now it's time for you to leave. If you leave now, you're gonna get right out of here. But
Nice.
it was just, like, the weather cooperated just perfectly.
Yeah, we had a really good day. We ordered takeout from this breakfast place. So I had lobster eggs Benedict for breakfast.
Ooh,
Well.
And yeah, it was
fancy.
really good. I mean, I live in Rhode Island, so I'm on the coast, so the lobster's good, so the seafood's
right,
good.
yeah.
But
Nice.
it was the hollandaise sauce was, oh my god, it was amazing. So that was really good. And then I played board games. We played one board game with my family. We played a Toy Story deck building board game, all 4 of us. And then my wife and I played some board games together. So just because that's what I wanted to do. So.
Oh, but that's nice.
Yeah.
We played.
Sounds like all of y'all had great days.
We played a Star Wars game. So we didn't
That's
play any Star
allowed.
Trek games.
Good One Racer, which was just released on PS4.
No. No.
I called my dad on Father's Day. Does that count?
It's just fine.
Sure.
It is just fine. Did you tell him to do whatever he wanted to and go take a nap?
He had just woken up from a nap, so I didn't feel like he had.
He had a
another one.
perfect Father's Day. Then. He was so happy. He was so happy. That was yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing great.
Mm-hmm.
And you waited till after his nap to call him, which was, I mean, that's a gift right there.
I mean, he made sure to be like, oh, I guess it's afternoon now. I'm like, okay, Dad, you know.
So, but did you let him have that one? You let him have that one, right?
I did. I didn't say
Okay, see,
anything.
that's another Father's Day gift. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called my dad, and he didn't pick up, so I left a message. And then when he called me later, he goes, I was gonna pick up the phone and call you and yell at you for not wishing me Happy Father's Day, and then I saw I had a message. So
Your own fault, Dad.
I was like, well,
And you know what? He owed you a phone call because
Mhm.
you're a dad too.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. All right, let's wrap her up here. Everybody got a final Audacity session open?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hit it for closing in 3, 2, 1, go. This is Tony closing sync 1.
This is Kat closing sync 2.
This is Anthony closing sync 3.
And this
All
is
right, let's
Skippy
do-
closing sync. Oh, never mind.
Wow.
Well, you never say anything, Skippy. I think
That's
last,
true.
What?
That's
Yes,
true.
I
I think
did.
last week, I'm pretty sure last week Skippy synced up by saying, "This is Skippy closing. I
did.
don't ever say anything. Sync 4." So
It's totally true. No, you
Yeah.
guys go ahead. It's
okay,
totally
all right.
fine.
So yeah, now you're in though. Now you're in. Okay. All right.
By the way, are we supposed to click the red button on go or go and then click the button?
Yeah, I've been wondering that too.
Yeah,
I've
we
just
need
been
to
assuming
clarify
we
this
click
some
it on
more.
3. I've been starting on 3.
So yeah, you should always start on 3.
I thought it
for
was
sure.
like.
So yeah, so over at the other show, we go 3, 2, and then I'm silent on the 1, and then I point my finger at the camera, and everybody knows that when I do that, it's all very clear over on the other show. Here it's controversy week in and week out. So I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I
it's
don't
just
know.
a subject
just-
of
Changes
debate.
from week to week.
I don't know how we ever get the show done. Oh, by the way, the tape's still running, so we probably got to do closing in 3.
Tape.
2.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up episode 466 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. But there are more great shows available to you on the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Just visit podcast.roddenberry.com for a complete list. Then be sure to subscribe to them all and share them with your friends.
But we can't forget to send a special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters like David K. Rutley and Peter Archibald.
And here's a reminder of our community question for the week. If Star Trek's next silver screen offering doesn't feature the Kelvin crew, what do you want it to be about?
Captains, it's important to us that you get your voice heard and that you participate in the conversation. Leave us a comment on our website at PriorityOnePodcast.com, on our Facebook page at Facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast, or find us on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOnePod.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Winters, me, and the rest of the Priority One Armada. Saturday nights, the Armada broadcasts live to review the latest news from Star Trek Online and the Armada community. Also, Anthony. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh, my God. I'm an a-hole. Sorry, Anthony.
Isn't it in the script, too? It's in the
bracketed,
script.
So it's like, but brackets
Okay.
to lawyers are like, yeah, skip it.
Yeah, I mean, it's optional normally.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start over.
Yeah.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Winters, me, and Anthony, and the rest of the Priority One Armada. Saturday nights, the Armada broadcasts live to review the latest news from Star Trek Online and the Armada community, including spotlighting some of the... Dang it.
Sorry.
I appreciated the
I
way
got
she said
distracted.
Anthony that time. She's like, and Anthony, you're special too.
Aw. Mm-hmm. Including spotlighting some of our amazing members. With regular giveaways, there's something for all Star Trek Online players, whether you're new or a veteran. Follow us on all our social media accounts for broadcast times, and if you'd like to join the Armada, visit PriorityOneArmada.com.
This episode of Priority One Podcast is brought to you by our patrons through. This episode of Priority One Podcast is brought to you by our patrons through Patreon.com. Find out more and add your support at Patreon.com/Priority One. Even if you can't make a financial contribution, please help spread the word about the show and invite your fellow Trekkies. It's your support that keeps us going.
Don't forget to tune into Priority One Productions Guard Frequency podcast at guardfrequency.com. Each episode, the Guard will take you inside the universe of your favorite space sims, including a tabletop adventure played out by your hosts. And Heroes Rise brings you up to date with the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Learn all about the latest publications, tools, tips, tricks, and traps in less time than it takes to skin a wyvern. Head over to heroesrisepodcast.com to discover their secrets.
It's a pretty good show. Just check it out. Both those shows are pretty good.
It's wyvern, right?
Oh, it is. It is.
Okay,
Wyvern.
I'm just checking because Elijah always tells me it's not.
I don't know why you're asking. He doesn't know either. They've just taken
No.
Lennon's word for it.
Okay, so no, yeah. So the okay, quick story. Sorry, audio editors. Lennon was trolling everybody by saying it was pronounced a different way when it wasn't, and so the running joke over there was everything British is wrong, but they know how to pronounce the English language, even though they spell it wrong. So I just went along with it. I went, yep, that's how it is, and so we just went along with it for like forever.
Okay,
and that's how it came over. Yeah, so yeah, it was a jokeception, and yeah. Anyway, thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, William, Brandon, Rand, Daniel, Roscoe, and Skiffy. Thanks to our producer Jake Morgan and associate producer Shane Hoover, with support from Advisory Panda of the Priority Armada, for helping us organize and write up.
Priority
one Armada.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
see, he just makes up the stuff as he goes. He doesn't bother to proofread the copy.
that's true. I mean, there's still text in here from 3 weeks ago.
I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, we can't let go of our special guest, Jonathan Del Arco,
Yeah,
because he
it
was
will.
so awesome.
Unless it stays in there to remind us next time we have a special guest. So, thanks to our producer Jake Morgan and associate producer Shane Hoover, with support from Advisory Panda of the Priority One Armada. Thanks for helping us organize and write up our summary of the weekly headlines from the Star Trek multiverse. Thanks to our social media manager and guest host this week, Anthony Cox. Thanks to our graphic artist Henry Pomper, with support from Jason Smith of the Priority One Armada. Thanks to the composer of our theme music, Chris Watts. Most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners, because without your ongoing support, none of this would be possible. Shields up, red alert. Ready weapons. Stop the recording.
Engage.
I don't think they still use my audio.
I still have yours.
But
Yeah, it's still
it's
there.
not
Yeah,
still in the
we'll use it
episodes,
this-
is it?
No.
No,
we
but
still have
everybody
we
still
keep
has
all
their
the
thing.
files, yeah. I've got them going back to 2013.
You're like, phasers on stun.
Back to when vintage Tony was just regular Tony.
That's right. I really can't use yours from that long ago because your voice sounds different. You
I
can
finally went
actually
through
tell.
puberty. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Whoa.
Well, and I keep talking about the other show, but there's so much rich lore and variety from the other show, Guard Frequency. But my son is on the theme, the intro theme. I got him on when we recorded the show the first time. He was
My
9.
port side
maybe.
thrusters won't stop
Yeah,
firing.
he
Is that
was
him?
no. My dad's turning green, like literally
That's
green.
That's right.
And so every week I get to hear him from when he was this big.
Aw.
Aw,
fun. It's
that's
kinda fun.
cute.
You can still tell it's him. Like if you listen to his voice now, and you listen to his voice, you can still tell it's him.
How
but
old
it's
is he
just like,
now?
He's 17.
Oh my gosh.
That's how long we've been waiting for Star Citizen to come out. Okay.
Oh, I know. No, I have money in Star Citizen. I've never
Hell
played
yeah.
it. I have like $150 invested in that game, and I've never played it. So
Yeah. Oh,
You should check it
invested.
out because it's
Fun
come a
choice
long
words.
way since whenever you pledged.
I mean,
There's actually stuff you can do in that game.
oh, is there?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
And it is, some of it will blow your mind. And
Play
there's a
your
lot of
cards
bugs
right.
still.
Skiffy might take you on a tour.
It's true.
Oh,
Really?
if one of you guys could play with me and tell me what the hell I'm doing, that would be great.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've actually got a couple of people like in the last week or two that have started playing that pledged a long time ago. Elliot, some listeners may remember Elliot from back in the day, but he's been behind the scenes of P1 for years. But he pledged before I did. What 2014,
2012.
2012. He pledged in
2012.
2012.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I pledged the first year that it before it was even playable. I pledged.
Yeah.
Are you a golden ticket holder?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
Then
some-
no, because if you were,
You'd
you would
know.
know, and you would tell people about it.
I mean,
Right.
I might
You would be
be.
obnoxious
I've never How do I know? How do I find that
the
out?
really early backers. You would have a physical golden ticket that they would have mailed you.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
obnoxious. You would know.
No. Yeah.
You would know. And you'd remind everyone, hey everyone, I have a golden ticket. Then that would be a thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
David K. Riley says he's an original backer.
Nice.
does David have a golden ticket?
Oh, I don't. He didn't say.
Well, so we need to find out because
Jamal's just
All
like
right.
LOL Star
All right,
Citizen.
David. All right, David. If you're a gold
if you're
ticket,
a golden ticket holder, you got to speak up and let us know if you're a golden ticket holder. You know.
We'd really like to know. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, we would. Yeah. So Star Citizen LOL. That's my job on the podcast every week. That's my job.
Oh,
you know,
Elliot Tan says he has a golden ticket.
That's right. Elliot
That's
Tan
Elliot.
does have a golden
that's
ticket.
who we were
don't
just
you,
talking
Elliot?
about.
We were just talking about how everyone with a golden ticket reminds everybody.
David Relly says he has one and it's framed. I
Oh,
think
wow.
post a photo.
Yeah, that's appropriate for a golden ticket. Absolutely.
It sure is. It sure is. Yeah. So
Wow.
it's a thing. So Anthony, if you had a golden ticket, you would know. You would
And
remind
Anthony, you
everyone
are
about us.
welcome anytime. I will absolutely show you the ropes, and Elliot's in there as well,
Cool.
and several other people that
Oh,
we've been showing the
nice.
ropes in the last couple of weeks. So it's a good
Well,
game.
all right then. So I think we've done our bit. You know,
Mhm.
we've checked all the boxes. We've filled all the bins. I think we've got all the stuff that we need this week. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Unless anyone has any closing words, parting thoughts.
We're gonna go do the other thing now, right?
We're gonna do this other thing.
Yeah.
For the patrons.
What thing is that? Oh,
Should we tell
For the
people
after
what
hours
it is
release.
we're doing?
we
In
should
case
absolutely
they
tell
wanna
people
go to
how they
Patreon
can
and
listen
find
to
out?
it if they want to. Yeah.
I mean, if they want to subscribe and become patrons, then they can come and hang out with us.
And what are we talking about tonight?
oh, in After Hours?
Yes.
I believe the animated series.
Yes, that's our next project is we're gonna go through the animated series. So head over to patreon.com/priority1 and you can join up and we do an after hour show. It's unedited, but we take on these specific topics. So if you'd like to join and get that extra little bit of Priority One exposure, if you felt like you needed more of it in your life, well, this is the way to do it. But in that case, until next week, we'll say goodnight. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.
y'all.
Thank you.
Wave till it's awkward. Wave till it's awkward. Keep waving till it's awkward. It'll be awkward here in a second. Hurry up, Anthony. Hurry up, Anthony. Cut us off so it's not awkward anymore.
Oh, I want to see how awkward it can be.
Oh, it could be very.
Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.